home to inspire young adults here at Church on the Rock. We are so pumped to have you. Happy New Year. I'm so excited to take you on this journey with us about habits. Yeah, Pastor taught a great series on how to break bad habits, how to build good habits. And, week one of this podcast, we were talking to you about, just how to get 1% better.
Yeah.
We talked about the book Atomic Habits, which you definitely need to pick up right here. And we just shared a lot about, what's going on this year. How are we doing with it? Are we getting better or are we getting worse?
Yeah, last week was amazing, but I'm really excited for this week because it's just going to keep getting better and better.
Absolutely.
Right? But make sure you listen. You watched last week. Definitely add some value to your life for sure.
Indeed. You know what we didn't do is
we
didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh,
I just
man.
remember that. So
they don't even know.
They don't know.
Oh, Lord.
Okay? These random guys over here. And Gal, hello. My name's Neal Hopson. Neal time. And I'm so pumped to be here with you.
My name's Ryan Himmel.
And let me introduce you to
Yes.
our guest. Well, she's not a really guest. She's family here at Church on the Rock and Inspire. She is a phenomenal friend. She started out, I met you when you were a youth. Literally a youth. And now she's a grown woman, and she's a businesswoman, and she's a woman of God. And we're so pumped to have her with us. And we're going to talk a little bit about what she's doing, her habits she's built to success. Her name is none other than NyShaun Harvey. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How are you doing? How's your New Year going?
I'm good. The New Year's, it's going great. I'm trying to set my habits and my goals in place and be consistent, start off consistent. So it's going good.
That's good. That's good. So, it's 2022. A lot of people are frustrated with the past 2 years. Okay, let's be honest.
Yeah.
2020 was like, 2021 was like, oh, Lord, come on now.
Yeah.
Cousin.
Exactly. Cousins. In 2022, we're believing it's going to be better. Are there any goals that you have that you want to maybe share with us that you made for 2022, the new year?
Yeah. One of the biggest goals is, of course, the most important, to grow deeper in God. And to be a reader. I am going to admit
A reader?
that is not my cup of tea. So I'm trying to change my language and be more intentional about reading books.
Yes. Are you reading fictional books or business books or
Self-help, business
Self-help?
books. Yeah.
That's good.
No Harry Potter. Nothing like that.
I'm
We
not
don't do no
interested.
everybody around here. Listen.
How do you how do you set goals? Like, everybody's got their own way of setting goals for the new year, but what's your style for setting goals?
I think the biggest thing I've learned over the years is to be realistic with myself.
Yeah.
And so I set small goals to kind of lead me up to the big goal that I'm believing for. So if it's an increase in staff, I'm going to start off with, 2 new baristas versus trying to have 10. And giving myself a deadline, for those goals. So I think it's making small goals and making a date for them.
I love it.
Tiny changes.
Hello.
Remarkable results.
Come on.
James Clear said it best himself.
Yes. Being realistic is good. And not, shrinking your goals back to what you can do is what God can do, of course.
Yeah.
But, just being realistic is like, okay, this is what I would like to see. And by this date, which is huge. NyShaun, she owns and operates Latte Lounge. And you have 2 locations, is that right?
Yes.
Tell us about it just a little bit, what Latte Lounge is, because it's a phenomenal spot. And we're going to do a little taste test a little bit later.
So our first location is located in Florissant. We've been open a little over a year. So we opened right in the middle of this worldwide mess.
Come on.
But the Lord has been good. We have not lacked any good thing. And he actually gave us the opportunity to expand a year later. Actually, it was a little bit before a year later downtown. I was able to partner with my pops. And so we've got coffee and brunch in downtown St. Louis. And it is going absolutely amazing.
That is awesome.
Man.
We were there last year. Last year.
So long ago.
For the Inspire Holiday Party. She opened their doors to us, and we had a phenomenal time. The spot is amazing, and we ate some great food, some chicken and waffles, and we're just so thankful for you to allow us to come in and party. And I'm just really pumped about your next season because God has really just opened up some doors and doing some really cool things,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, indeed.
You said you opened your first location in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of people, that's crazy. Like, a lot of people could see that as crazy, but you went ahead with it anyways. We're talking about habits. So tell us some of the habits that that led you up to starting even in a pandemic? Not just starting in a normal time, but a pandemic time.
I think I'll start just by saying that when I started my build out for the space, it was not a pandemic at all. I had a 6-month, that was what I was told, that, you know, the space would be completed in 6 months. And in that 6 month, I think maybe it was like the second or third month. Like, I was like, wait, what? Like, we have a deadline here. Like, I have to open, and I'm big on, like, dates, deadlines. Like, I'm big on getting stuff done when it's supposed to be done. So that 6 months turned into 14 months. So that's me constantly spending money, being dedicated, hoping that something good is going to come out of this. I'm over a year into this.
Wow.
I don't know what this is going to do or what it's going to look like. But I think in that season, I learned patience. A habit of trusting God even when it doesn't feel good. My family,
That's a book right there.
family
I like
got
that.
me together because I mean, a lot of crying nights and whining and, complaining. And it was like, well, what? You're in it. You're in a lease. You have paid these contractors a down payment. You have to do it.
Wow.
So in that moment, I learned patience, that I just can't control everything. Like, God is in control. And I'm thankful that 14 months was needed for me to even better myself, to be that boss, that entrepreneur in that season, so that I can be able to reach more people through, a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I love it because, this is like technically your third business, and your family is just full of businesses, and you've built habits actually to even get to this point. Because a lot of times we live in a generation which is awesome, but everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, right? There's a labor shortage right now because you can't find anybody to make a sandwich for you. You can't find anybody to do anything because it's so tough. Everybody's jumping off the corporate bandwagon, saying, you know what, I want to work for myself. I want to have my own time. I want to do what I want to do. And, you've been able to staff 3 businesses, 3 locations, and to make sure that it's running successfully in the middle of a pandemic, which is phenomenal. Some of these habits that you built and your family has built over time to get you to this point, is there anything that you remember that your mom and your pops have done to really say, you know what, these are some things you need to do in order to be successful?
I think the mindset has always been a big thing. Like, when we wake up in the morning, as a family, there's affirmations, not only, over us, over our businesses, over our family, over our church family. So having that mindset change, and I'm big on, like, writing it down and making it plain. Pastor says that all the time. I write it down and make it plain. So I have, this coffee shop was in my journal from 2017, and then here I am in 2021. With a cafe, and it's like, I wrote this down, this many years ago, but every year I rewrote it down and I redeclared those things. So declaring such a thing when it ain't so until it is so has been a huge thing that, our parents have laid in front of us, and to just get up and do it. Quit whining, quit sitting back, just get up and do it. Because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? You have to do your part as well. So
that's so good. You not only wrote it down, you not only said your affirmations, confessed it, but you said, you know what, now it's time to do something. Yeah. We talked about last week where, we're in a generation of where we're going to manifest everything, and it's kind of like, you know what, at some point you got to do something.
Yeah.
I like what you said there real quick. You said in 2017 you wrote it down?
I think it was 2017.
2017,
Wow.
And you didn't open in 2017.
No.
So I like what you wrote it down again in 2018, right? So a lot of times I feel like, I know with my goals, I'm guilty of this too. Like, I'll write down a goal for a year, and then December 31st comes around and I haven't met that goal, and then January 1st comes around and it's like, well, that was last year's. Like, that,
right.
Yeah.
That wasn't for this year. That was just for last year. But you knew it was gonna happen, right? How did you feel like in 2018 when you're like, okay, I'm writing this down again?
So for me, like in 2019, like, I still wasn't expecting it, because I thought, like, I'm young. Like, I have so much time. I already have been an entrepreneur for like almost 2 years. So, like, I have so much time ahead of me, but I just wasn't expecting, it to happen that soon. So I was patient. I was manifesting, but I was, like, confident that God was going to do it for me. Just didn't know when.
I love it. Now, a lot of your peers, your 20s, young, you're doing your thing, you look great, you got stuff going for you, and everybody's probably just say, hey, why don't you just live your life and have some fun at this moment? Sow your wild oats. But you're like, hey, let me start a couple of businesses. Let me be focused. Let me take this opportunity while I'm young to work hard so I can then actually have an enjoyable life later on. Why did you do that as opposed to the opposite?
That's literally like my motto. Like, work now, play later.
Come on.
I want to retire early. I have a goal
Yeah.
in my head. Like, I want to be done with it. But I think just being raised up, in the household where that was the thing, like hard work has always been a part of me. I've always been a hard worker. I started working when I was 13. Probably wasn't supposed to be working. I had a worker's permit. I think you're supposed to start when you're 14.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need my own money. Like, I don't want to ask anybody for anything. So it was like that independence almost, I think, that kind of took over. But when I realized that, like, I don't need college for this, like, this is a passion of mine and I don't have to go to school for it. I can do it now, like, with the support of my family. Like, yeah, I'm just going to jump on it and do it. Like, why not start now? It is, I do have friends. I do, like, take time for self-care. I do hang out, but it's, like, in those times where you have to be disciplined. Like, I signed up for this, and so, like, I can hang out, I can have a good time, but I still have to be disciplined. I still have people to answer to, businesses to go to. So it's discipline. That's, like, the biggest part of it is discipline.
That's so good. I love the word.
Man, that's good. Like you said, I love that. You took the words right out of my mouth. But I want to hear something from the head of the house here,
Yes.
Pastor. But I want to take a look at this clip real quick. Let's check this out.
My destiny demands I become different. My destiny demands Dave Blunt can't remain the same on January the 2nd, 2022. My destiny demands of me to become different. How do I become different? By changing my habits. But I'll never change my habits until I know my purpose for changing them.
Wow. He said, my destiny demands that I become different. My destiny. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
My destiny, well, if I'm not different, I can't go to where God wants me to go.
Yeah.
Or I can say, if I'm not different, I can't make it to my destination.
You weren't called to fit in.
No,
You were called to stand out.
absolutely.
You got to be different. You got to be different. How was being different a benefit for you? Because like you said, like you were different than most, 20-year-olds at that age. Like you were starting businesses while everyone else was out partying, out with their friends, doing whatever. How did that benefit you? Being different benefit you?
It literally explains my life. My life. And it's funny that you said, like, you were made to stand out and not to fit in because, like, growing up, like, me and my sister were so different in school. Like, we were, like, the church girls, we didn't get to go to the parties on Fridays and whatever else. And my mom always said, you're not made to fit in. You don't do what they do. Like, you're made to be different. And in those moments, I didn't understand, why I couldn't go. Like, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But, like, my destiny, like, the level that God was calling me and my family to, it was, like, it caused me to be different. So I couldn't do what everybody else did, even in those moments when I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be, cool and popular. I wasn't lame now. But
Never get it twisted.
when I wanted
get it
to,
right here.
let's get it together. But there was just certain things that I couldn't do. And so even like now, not going to college and seeing, just the things that all my friends are doing that I graduated high school with, like my destiny, God was just calling me to different places. So I couldn't do what the world was doing. I had to be different.
It's so interesting because a lot of times it's tempting just to fit in, just to have some friends, to have a friend group and to be a part. But it's like where God wants to take you, you have to change and develop and become something different. You can't do it with doing what everybody else does.
Yeah.
I remember going in high school, I'd never had like the set group of friends, right? I always had like, there's different groups that I always fit into with different people. Like I was like, I could go over here and then go over there and go over here. But I never had like this set group of friends. I was like, why don't I have like this tight-knit thing? But I know God was causing me to accelerate a little bit. So I graduated high school early. I graduated college early to play professional tennis. And thankfully I achieved some of that. But at the same time, it's kind of like I couldn't do it. I went to Texas for a year. And I trained for tennis, homeschooled, no friends. I couldn't go out. My coach told me the first night we went to Papados in Houston, Texas, a great restaurant. We're excited. First, week there, and my coach is like, "Yeah, you can't go out. You can't have, fun. You got to stay focused. And you got to play tennis." And I was like, "Okay." And that's what we did.
Yeah.
My destiny demanded that I be different than what everybody else was doing, just like you were saying. And and one of the differences is being a follower of Christ.
Yeah, most definitely.
Why is that important to you to be in the house of God and not only attend services and to be engaged and to take notes and to apply what you're learning, but to serve as well? Why did you decide to do that?
I don't ever want to get too busy for God, ever. I am nothing without him. I wouldn't, be where I am today if it wasn't for him, like being the firm foundation of my life, and allowing him to just do a good work in me. I wouldn't be here. So I'm not going to be too busy for God. I'm not going to be too busy to serve, never too good to serve. I make sure that I'm in a ministry. I don't care, if the restaurant's open on Sundays. I don't care, if I'm busy Monday through Saturday. I'm going to be in the house of God on a Sunday, watching live, doing something and serving in some way, because I'm nothing without him.
Listen, Lord.
I like what she said there, too, about you're not too good to serve.
Yeah.
I love it when you see certain people who, it's almost like they shouldn't be doing something, but they still are. Like, it could be a guest speaker that comes in and they're out here moving chairs. It's like, why are you doing that? But they got the same mindset as you. They're not too good to serve. I don't think any of us are too good to serve anywhere here.
You know what happens is a lot of times when you get a little clout, you get a little money.
Yeah.
You get some advancement, your schedule starts to fill up. So you have 3 businesses and you're managing people and you still have a life yourself and you have a beautiful horse as well. Shout out to Cash. It's tough to say, you know what, well, I can't serve, or I can't be as involved, or I can't do my quiet time, and I can't, make sure that I'm doing the consistent things that even got me to this place.
Yeah.
And you forsake those things because your schedule got full. And now you're stressed out, and you're wondering, why are you having breakdowns and stuff like that? It's because, you forsook the main thing.
Yeah.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Make it plain.
Make it plain.
This is good. This is good.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
We talked about, the coffee shop, how you got there, whatnot. I think it's only right that we take a little break and maybe bring some out. Bring one of the specials out.
Let's do
Is that
it.
something we could do? Come on, Tim.
T. Willie, bring
Bring
this
it on out.
And you
present
need
it.
to explain exactly what this is, because I'm not a coffee drinker.
Yeah, what is this?
Missing out.
I know. I love the smell of coffee, though.
You know what? We're on a fast right now.
We are.
I'm fasting coffee.
Are you fasting coffee?
I'm fasting coffee.
He's very strong.
I got a headache right now.
That was not my struggle
But I got
this year.
Jesus.
You have a headache
I got
right now?
Jesus, yeah.
Because
yeah.
you drank so much coffee over time,
It
and now
became a
that
habit.
you come off of it,
Yeah.
You
I'm
have,
having
withdrawals.
man. It's
are you
it's
shaking
tough.
at night? Are you cold? Sweats?
Yes. Oh yeah. So it's. Whew,
It's a
bad. I
real
need
thing. It really
it
is
really
a real
is.
thing.
Tell me about that a little bit, because almost you got into coffee for the opposite. Is that right?
Yeah.
What happened?
I had really bad migraines, which caused me to drink coffee. And I just can't really go without it. When you don't have it for, extended amount of time, like it does cause, like some days I'm like, I just feel so like whatever, like blah. And I'm like, I haven't had caffeine today. Like it's just automatic.
Yeah.
Like that's just what we do. And now
Yeah.
we're in it. I'm in it every day. So it's, why not?
You know what's wild, and this is not a tangent, but it goes with what you're saying. Sometimes when we stop doing something that's unhealthy, and we're on a pretty good path, and we're like, okay, we're doing good. Why is it that we self-sabotage to go back to that unhealthy thing because it's comfortable, or we're not used to the new normal, used to the new us?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that where you kind of like, I'm doing well, and then you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna mess this all up so I can just kind of. I don't believe in myself. Or I don't
Yeah.
believe that I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean?
I'm very critical of myself, for one. So every little thing I do, if I mess up, I take it really hard.
Yeah.
And it's myself. Nobody has to tell me that necessarily. But when somebody does tell me, it's like, okay, they saw it too. Like I
Right.
know I see stuff that you guys may not see, but when you guys see it, it's a whole nother game for me.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like I beat myself up over it. But yeah, I kind of
sure.
drop down to that level.
It happens in relationships as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like things are going well, and then all of a sudden you want to fight. For no
Yeah.
reason. Like,
Get
what's
the
wrong
gloves,
with you?
right?
Like, what's
Yeah.
get the gloves?
Let's go.
Like, you're like, why you? Yeah. Like, well, chill. We just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go back to what you're used to, because a lot of times somebody says, they're like, the toxic relationship is one thing, but it's the relationship after the toxic relationship, which is the hard part, because you're used to like that toxicity, and you want to revert back to it. So we're breaking habits today, but we're gonna build some new ones with this display here. What do you call this?
This is our hot latte flight. We did a hot one because it's cold out, y'all. I drink iced coffee in all seasons, but most people don't.
And you can get this iced too?
You can get it iced. It's cuter iced, by the way.
This is the Latte Lounge, right? Is it called a hot flight?
Yes, it's a hot flight from the Latte Lounge.
You don't have to wear a mask. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You don't. We are receptive of all people at the Latte Lounge.
I kind of. It was because you're on the flight.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't set you up for failure there. It was a good joke. No,
there we go.
Maybe not.
It took me a minute.
I didn't mean to.
I didn't get it. Not at all.
1, 2, 3 are across the top, and then 4 and 5 are our bottom two, and those are like 5 of our most popular drinks on the menu.
The latte, the turtle, the macchiato, the cinnamon. Hello, that's my nickname at home. And the white mocha.
That's my nickname at home.
Exactly. So this is great. So you can actually order like almost like a sampler of all these different drinks.
Yeah, we're the only, I'm not bragging, we're the only location in the St. Louis area that I'm aware of, St. Louis County, St. Louis City, that are serving flights, coffee flights. A lot of people do, you know, alcoholic beverages and things like that. But you know, coffee isn't a thing, so it's been a big hit. I mean, we've had people from Alaska, we've had people from Japan. I mean, literally from everywhere just to try this flight.
That's amazing.
It's been crazy.
That's so cool. I love it. And it's a Latte Lounge in Florissant, Latte Lounge, HE Eatery in downtown St. Louis, and you can test the flight out for sure. I love this. This is so cool.
How many shots come in these?
So each cup has a double shot.
Of coffee.
Double shot of espresso.
Okay.
in each cup.
Wow. 10 shots.
You
A lot of
lit
coffee.
all week. I love it. I love it.
Keep
So
going.
if you're looking to develop a new habit, that's definitely a good habit to develop for sure.
That's the one. That's the one. Well, let's go in. We got to go into our atomic habits.
We got a couple minutes. Let's do it.
I'm gonna read a quick little paragraph. So pay attention. Take some notes, if you will, and then we're gonna talk about it.
And if you don't have the book, make sure you grab this. Dream Team staff and volunteers are going through Atomic Habits, and it's by James Clear. It's a phenomenal book. You'll get so much value at it.
Yes, please do. Amazon. Don't know the price. All right. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason you'll stick with one is that it becomes part of your identity. Anyone can convince themselves to visit the gym or eat healthy once or twice, but if you don't shift the belief behind the behavior, then it is hard to stick with the long-term changes. Improvements are only temporary until they become part of who you are.
Wow.
I like that last line. Improvements are only temporary until they become part of who you are. If you remember last week, I had mentioned something about my goal was to become a runner.
Yes.
Not necessarily run a marathon.
Yeah.
It was my way of thinking. And again, like last week, Pastor was talking about our way of thinking changed our habits. So, but I changed my identity so that I could become a runner versus just running that one day, that one event. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think it's important to not just talk about it or want to get the results from it, but to say, you know what, I got to go through the process.
Yeah.
Being a DJ, shout out to DJ Andre Arkade, by the way, crushing it over here in the ones and the twos. A lot of people, when they come to me or they come to us and they say, hey, I want to become a DJ, what do they really want to do? They just want to scratch.
Right.
Okay. They want to look cool and like, can you give us a little scratch? Can you show us just a little bit? Let's see what we got. Okay. See, he's scratching. This is the fun stuff. This is the dessert of DJing. But really, mixing is just mixing one record to another record, keeping it consistent, keeping the party going. But a lot of times, people want to be the party and take the pictures and be on Instagram and whatnot, but they don't actually want to put in the work and become an actual DJ.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. It's not something that you just dibble and dabble in, but it's something that you actually have to get engulfed in. And you say, you know what, this is the lifestyle, like you say, when becoming a runner.
Yeah, for sure. What about you? What's your take on changing your identity to change who you are?
I think I kind of can relate a lot to what Neal is saying. It's that hard part. Everybody wants to own a business because they see the end result, the money and whatever else that comes with it. If you do it right, they see the end result, but they don't see the hard part. So like right now, if I don't get up, you know, in the morning, or if I don't dedicate a specific time to do office work for my locations, my businesses will fail.
Wow.
So it's those hard parts that people really don't see. The back end of things, you see all the glitz and glamour on the outside of what looks good, but you don't see the hard part. Or when last week, my entire downtown staff literally was sick. The whole staff. I was serving, I was bussing tables, I was a barista, I was a host. I mean, you have to do whatever it takes because it's up to you. Like, it's really that hard part. So it's a lot, you know, a lot of moving parts, but you got to be that main part to kind of make everything happen, because if the business doesn't eat, you don't eat.
This is true.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Can you give us an example? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about what you were saying. It's you're dedicated to what it actually is, as opposed to what it could look like.
Yeah, the
And
why of it all.
The why of it
Yeah.
all. And that's why you continue to work hard and to fill in for, because sometimes, you know, when your whole staff gets sick, you just want to, like, okay, should we just close the doors? But you're like, you know what? The
Yes.
doors stay open and we got to get to work. So I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I like what you said. You know, you lead by example too, because you know everybody was out sick. Maybe they were really sick. Maybe they were kind of sick. Who knows? But you got to lead by example, like,
Yeah.
because they're not gonna do anything that you're not doing. You know what I mean? Like, they
Yeah.
got to be motivated. If you keep yourself motivated, then they're gonna follow along with that.
You know, one thing I love about our pastors is that they lead by example.
Yeah.
They've been leading us for 38 years now. And it's just amazing to see the consistency in their lives. You know, one thing, when you look at Pastor and look at Pastor Kim, you see consistency, small things that add up to large things over time. And sometimes people say, well, Pastor, how did you have all these campuses, and how did you build this amazing church, and how did you pay off,
Yeah.
the church, which is amazing, by the way.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
It's been phenomenal. Well, it's just the small things. It's not getting discouraged when you don't see a return on your result, and you don't see the fruit yet from the seeds that you planted. And when people, maybe turn their back on you, when you go through disappointment and heartbreak, and you're not sure exactly how you're going to do the next thing, but it's like those small things, the consistency. And that's why we can say, okay, God, you've given us a great leader here on earth to model after when it comes to, like, consistency. And I think, when you're doing the hard work now, it pays off later.
Yeah, I taught somebody how to juggle one time, and I never talked to them before in my life.
What do you mean?
It was by example. So
Okay.
I had this, it was a young guy, real young guy. He walked up to me, shook my hand, said, hey, my name's so-and-so. Said, I just wanted to say thank you. I said, okay, you're welcome. For what? And he said, you taught me how to juggle. I said, again, I'm confused. Like, I've never seen you before. I've never talked to you before. He's like, I saw you at this event. I saw you at this event. I was just watching you, how you did things. And now, like, I can juggle. And he showed me, and he could.
Wow.
It was all by example. I was leading
Incredible.
by example.
Man. Let me encourage you right now. If you're thinking, I don't have an example. Sometimes we have to do a little research to get a role model, to get an example. We have the example of Christ, number one. That's our main example. We want to be like Jesus. That's it. No matter, if you have somebody in your life that's doing the right things and that's being a great example and a role model for you, Jesus is our example. We talked about the fruit of the Spirit last week of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. And in Galatians 5, it's important that we have the example of Christ. If you want to know if I'm changing, am I developing, am I moving the needle, look at the fruit of the Spirit. Do I embody the fruit of the Spirit with people? Because sometimes we can get ahead in life, we can do really well in business, we can achieve a lot of things, but if we're mean to people and we're not, exemplifying those fruit of the Spirit, then we're missing the main point. The first commandment is to love God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. And number 2 is to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So let me encourage you to have Jesus as your number one example, and then do some research to figure out, okay, who's doing what in my sphere, my industry, my niche, so I can, better grow, because we're a growing church for sure. I love this.
Yeah.
It's good. So we talked about a lot of different things. Your business that you built. I want to hop back into a clip from Pastor, and he's going to break down this amazing message, how to break bad habits, how to build some good habits. Let's take a look.
We have to learn to see potential and possibilities in every problem. Potential and possibilities in every problem. A problem solver, right? So to reframe our perspective, that means stop being negative and start being positive. Negative people never solve problems. Negative people aren't creative. So we reframe our perspective, outlook, outcome. Reality is my perception. Reality is my perception. So I have to see potential and possibilities in every problem.
So good. You got to see potential and possibilities in every problem. Now, running a businesses, having a horse even, we got some problems, okay? Everything just doesn't go smooth. How do you keep that mindset of seeing the potential and possibilities in the problems that you see?
One of the mottos that I use at the daycare, which actually I'm using in my daily life, literally, is every moment is a teachable moment. Mm-hmm. So, of course, it works great for the daycare children, but it also works great for adults, too.
Yeah.
Whenever we get a bad review or there's a complaint, or a parent's unhappy, I'm sitting down with my team and wondering, what can we do differently?
Yeah.
What could have possibly been done to prevent these things from happening? So you take it, you chew it up, you spit out the bones, you take what applies to you. You can't take everything personal. My attitude has definitely changed in this industry. You can't, be on a defense. I understand that, it's my baby. The businesses are my baby,
Sure.
but I can't grow without the people. I literally can't grow.
Yeah.
If I don't have the clientele, if I don't have, the daycare children enrolled, I can't grow. So I need to be open. I need to be receptive. I need to have an open heart and an open mind from my team, from the customers, from my parents, from my staff, because I can't grow without it. So every opportunity, every mishap, whatever it is, it's a possibility for us to do more and do better.
That's good. And we have a power phrase, here at Church on the Rock that kind of goes with that.
We got a lot of power phrases.
We do.
Yeah. Which one are you referring
Well,
to?
I'm referring to, we're energized by challenges and changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a whole lot of challenges, a whole lot of changes that go on in our lives, and how we respond is the biggest thing. Either we're reacting or we're responding, and we can build habits even within that. We can build a habit of reacting a certain way every time there's a problem. And being a leader and being a business owner and being the one that everybody's looking to when there is a problem, how you react is key. Has there been an example or a story where something went wrong and people are looking at you like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, we had this was our opening day. I'm just gonna be 100% real. We've never had. My family has never owned a restaurant. This was new for us. It was new for our team. It was new for everybody. So day one was like a test day.
Wow.
We're like, hey, we're opening up. We're gonna see what happens. Our wait times were absolutely insane. In our minds, our team was trained. We did all that we knew how to do. But day one was literally like reprogram, redirect, recommunicate, retrain. That was my mindset the entire day. But I carried a smile because when we had like irate customers that we had to comp, hundreds and $100s of money because it was horrible. Wow. It was a good crazy, but it was horrible. So in those moments, the servers are looking at me. What are we going to do? These people are mad. What are we going to do? We're going to make them happy. Our motto is the customer's always right. I don't care if you feel like you did everything right. If the customer feels unsatisfied, there's something that we could have done differently. Wow. You do have difficult people. I won't say that we don't. But you just have to change your mindset. And so my goal is to be that example for them, to carry a smile and to kind of just prove that the customer's always right and do what we can do to make them happy.
Yeah, there's something here at Church on the Rock that we say a lot, that we refrain from using the word problem, but instead we use the word opportunity.
Yes.
So instead of saying like, oh, we have a problem, we have an issue, we have a nightmare, we have an opportunity. And basically what that means is we have an opportunity to get better, to learn something new, to get 1% better, and to try something new. There's countless things that I've learned here just because it was a quote-unquote problem, as some would call it, but I was able to figure it out and get better myself.
That's so good. You might think of it right now, like, I blew it, I messed up, I didn't respond the right way. Actually, I was talking to our team about this recently. I'm like, man, I wish I would have responded the right way when this opportunity came, and I didn't. And I was so frustrated. I was talking to my mentor about this, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have talked to you before this problem came so I can actually do the right thing and respond the right way. But you know what? I couldn't stay there. And it's so easy once you make a mistake or once you kind of get in a routine or habit to stay in that place because you think that it's just what it is. This is who I am now. This is what I do, and that's not the case. You are not what you do. You have an opportunity to get back up and to change and to try again. And will it happen overnight? No. It took you, 20 years to be who you are right now. You know what I mean? It's going to take you a long time to actually change or reframe that, but you can do it if you do it consistently. So let me encourage you right now, do not give up. Don't stay where you are. You can be better, and you can actually exemplify who Christ is if we actually are doing the things that we know to do. We're going to give you an opportunity to take some steps. This is a huge thing that we do here at Church on the Rock and start part of our culture, not to just remain, but to say, you know what? God's not leading us back. He's leading us forward. What's the first step that someone can take if they're watching right now?
You got to know God. First step is knowing God. Second step, once you know God, once you find out who He is, then you get to find freedom.
Yeah.
When you find that freedom, you're able to be free and discover your purpose, right? So once you discover your purpose, then you're able to go out and actually make a difference in the people around you and impact lives, all for God's glory. But if you're watching right now, we just want to give you the opportunity, or if you're listening, we want to give you the opportunity to accept Jesus into your life and to make Him Lord over every area of your life. So go ahead and bow your heads with me and repeat this after me. Say, Lord, I need you. I'm a sinner in need of a Savior. And right now, I ask you to come into my life and to wash me and to clean me from the inside out. And right now, I make you Lord over every area of my life. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Congratulations. We're so glad you took that step, and we want to help you take your next step. We want to help you get around some people that are like-minded, that are heading in the same direction as you. Join a small group. Check out the website. Make sure you get involved in Growth Track as well. We want to take you on that 4-step journey to building a better life, and you can lead people to a God who's for them and help them discover His purpose for their life. So take that next step with us. We love you. We appreciate you. And we thank you. Thanks to our DJ, Andre Arkade, by the way, crushing it here on the ones and the twos. And we want to thank our guest, our family, NyShaun Harvey, and, Latte Lounge. It's definitely a spot you definitely want to check out because they have some phenomenal coffee and some phenomenal brunch as well. Latte Lounge, HD Eatery. And, thank you for hanging out with us. Episode 3 coming your way very soon. May the Lord bless you. May He keep you. May His face shine upon you. May He be gracious to you, show you His favor, and T. Willie,
fill you with His peace.
Fill you with His peace. Awesome. We love you. Don't forget, God is for you.